right, this is the day purchasing the this 1965 Beetle from Bryant here.
How you doing?
This is the 66 bus going to tow the Beetle with the tow hitch. And we got the lights. We're gonna bring this thing back to Durham Chapel Hill area. We got 2 new front tires just to make sure, and you know, hopefully we're gonna make it. Okay, well, this is the 1965 VW Beetle sunroof that I got. I just got this for well, basically I got this car, which obviously it needs the channels and the floorboards, and it has, you know, a lot of rust issues. There's some issues with its sunroof, but I'm starting to just clear it out. It has a running engine, good deck lid. It has I thought that the chassis looked good, and so what I'm going to do is lift off the body, and first I'm going to just get the chassis in good shape. So I took off the front bolts here holding the body. I got to get the ones that are on the rusted channels still holding that down. Included in this were the floor pans here. So I know there's different levels of quality of floor pans, so it's hard for me to know. These look like there's something Spanish printed on them, so they're possibly you know, Mexican, or just take a look at this. He said he had got swap meet, so qualidad asegurada. Maybe this is Brazilian, I don't know. But in any case, you know, it's better than this. So my first step is really going to be to just lift this body up off of it. The body might just be disposable, and I might, you know, I got this for a price that is a good price just for a chassis, so I may just lift this off, get the chassis back 100%, and then see what I want to do with this body. Maybe there's a body that's in better shape that I can just slap onto here that's also a 65. So okay, that's the progress so far on this Beetle. All right, well, here's the 65 Beetle that I got, and I just thought I'd show the progress. I took out the gas tank, and I'm getting ready to put this up on a stand, get the body off. I think that the chassis is good. I'm not sure I can save the body, but we're gonna see. So I disconnected the steering column. You know, you can see that this is all rusted out, but I do have the original 65 VIN plate, and it matches the number on the 65 chassis, which is in here, which probably can't see it, but it's here. So the interesting thing here, these are so far gone that when I started lifting it up off of the chassis just to test it, the door jambs were the wrong shape. So what I did is I got the gap right. You can see the gap is good now, and I welded in. I just went ahead and welded in. These had cost a little more than I wanted, but I welded in just a brace here that goes across the back, welds in. It's, you know, it's not that solid, but I'm just gonna have to cut it out, and because I have to do the floors and the channels. So you can see here, I've got some rust issues back there. We're gonna just see if I can do that. or if this body is toast. I got the motor out, and you know, you can see that there's just this back area, you know, this is just gone. So I guess would have to get, you know, that's the problem, is like you start talking front quarter, rear quarter, fenders. I mean, the doors here are kind of gone. So, you know, when you start talking about all these, it might be more about sourcing some, either an entire body or junkyard doors and stuff. But, you know, it's a 65 and with matching everything. So, you know, maybe I can do it. I also have sunroof issues. I'm gonna cut out the sunroof, and what I'm gonna do is I got a sheet of, you know, I just started getting some stuff here, and I think what I can do here is, sunroof is actually welded in with these guys here. So I think, you know, maybe what I do is I cut this right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I cut them, and I pull out the sunroof mechanism. That way I can fix these holes, you know, like this. I can fix them all, sand it down, and then I would have to just, you know, put these back in. So the question is it better to cut it kind of right midway, or to cut it? I'll just have to see. So there's that. Welding in the braces, and then what I did is I took out the motor. Now this motor ran when I got the car, so it works. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, I just power washed it, so it's like trying to rust so hard. What I really want to do is get it on the stand and run it so that it heats up and evaporates all the water. But you know, the motor did run. Seems to have a lot of original parts. It might be original. Looks like these heat risers are missing their actual bolts here. I don't know how that happened, but actually I think I'm going to swap out the dipstick for my aftermarket one, because I like the original ones. But yeah, so that's the story on that. It looks like, okay, it has the oil pressure dummy light, so I should be able to take the engine. This is the engine that's gonna go in the Beetle eventually, is this one here. This is a great motor, and I think what I'm gonna do is take this down, just kind of store it next to it, get the old one working, and then try to sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Working motor, I don't know what the asking price could be for that. It has, you know, the fan shroud. I wish that I had that fan shroud when I built this motor, because this one has the aftermarket one. But in any case, that's progress. I have these red wheels that I'm going to turn. So I'm going to make this bug a twin of this bus, which means it's going to be Lotus White, even though Lotus White didn't start until '66. It's going to be Lotus White, and it's going to have silver white wheels, just like the bus. It has the same dome hubcaps, just like the bus. And so in the end, I think what I'm going to wind up with is a, you know, identical colored bug from the bus. And so, but this is going to be a lot of work. All right. Oh yeah, just to show, I undid all of the body bolts, including what was all rusted underneath the pans. Everything rusted underneath there, and these guys here, I'm having trouble getting the doors off, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do there. They were pretty rusted into place. And I took off the steering wheel. So, like I said, this is braced in place as an angle iron here and here. And really, you know, it has the top to hold that in place. And really what you're trying to do is keep the, you know, side to side, which this will do. And then back and forth, so that when I weld in these channels, the new channels, the door gap, let's see. the door gap will still be good, which it looks good right now. So, you know, depending on what happens. I took out the rear windshield and I looked at that. The lip here looks pretty good all the way around. I did notice on the back windows here, the lip is kind of gone. So I'm just gonna have to see what I can do in terms of fixing that. I haven't done that much like sheet metal welding. It's easier to weld the thicker metal because the thicker metal, you just power through it with a lot of voltage, and the thin stuff, you have to, it's very sensitive to blasting through it. And so, you know, I'm just gonna have to see how well I can do at that. But I think what I can do is kind of hammer this. I mean, I think this is gonna will take to the bend, you know, pretty well. I can take a ball peen hammer, I'll probably cut out some of these eventually, but not until I've done the chassis. So, all right, that's the current status.